Oh, he believes a lot of wild things. One of them is transgender surgery for people who are under 13.
So for those out there who are wondering, aren't there something else you could be doing or doesn't seem to impact you in your life? This is what it means to show empathy. This is what it means to be welcoming.
He changed the Minnesota state flag to make it look like the Somali flag. You haven't seen that?
But our current flag is problematic. I think we all know that. We've evolved into a more diverse state, and I think it's more reflective of
Joe Rogan just uncovered something about Tim Walz so outrageous, it makes UFO sightings look like everyday news. One moment, Walz is your typical politician. The next, he's a walking twist straight out of a wild drama. Rogan's ready to grill him hotter than a Texas barbecue, and the result is pure entertainment chaos. This isn't politics anymore. It's a full-blown reality show set in Minnesota. What Rogan reveals feels like a collision of comedy, confusion, and pure conspiracy vibes. Grab your popcorn, this spectacle is about to explode.
Think about Walz's descriptions of his military career, because there's some issues there that people have. I don't know if he flat out ever said that he served in Afghanistan, but he certainly didn't dissuade people from saying that he was when they were saying he didn't correct them.
Right.
There was things
he didn't. And
Joe Rogan's witnessed some strange stuff in his time. UFO encounters, politicians acting like elk meat experts, and health gurus claiming kale smoothies can fix everything from the flu to heartbreak. But nothing could prepare him for Tim Walz, the politician who somehow turned Minnesota into the backdrop of a chaotic, low-budget sitcom spiraling out of control.
If that Tim Walz cocksucker, if that guy got into power, like if Kamala died and Tim Walz, Tampon Tim, was our president, you know how crazy this country would be? That weirdo who puts tampons in the boys' room, and what about our joy? Like, he's a complete pathological liar. Like a complete liar. Lied about being in Tiananmen Square, lied about being a fucking head coach of a football.
If you're enjoying this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. When Rogan took a closer look, he didn't find a political genius. He found a man juggling madness like a circus act gone wrong. Tim Walz has somehow perfected the art of looking productive while accomplishing absolutely nothing. It's politics on a treadmill. All effort, zero results. The illusion of progress without actually moving forward is almost impressive, in the most ridiculous way possible.
I don't know. Tim Walz is out there talking again.
Did you say you could fight any Trump supporter?
Yeah, he says he kicked their ass, and they're scared of him because he could fix a truck. Like they're threatened by his masculinity. I know how to fix a truck. So he said, like, do you? I bet you don't.
The lady doth protest too much.
I bet you don't.
I fear.
I bet if I bring a broken truck to you and a bag of tools,
that was kind of the redress, right? That was the attempt. It was like, we're gonna the symbol of masculinity on the left is going to be
Rogan couldn't ignore it. Every time Tim Walz tries to flex his leadership, it looks less like authority and more like a substitute teacher losing control before the bell even rings. Minnesota asked for a strong leader, but what they got feels more like a bewildered dad battling the TV remote. It's leadership turned sitcom, and the laugh track practically plays itself.
This video of Tim Walz doing the exact same thing.
right.
Exact same thing, and he said, of course, it's a Nazi salute. He said that.
Right.
We spent 3 days having them trying to debate that President Musk gave a Nazi salute. Of course he did. But that is a distraction.
This is how crazy things have gotten. Like,
And the wildest part, Walz isn't even pretending anymore. He struts around like he's cracked the secret formula for running a government, but Rogan caught on fast. Those so-called big ideas sound like recycled quotes from a dusty 2003 motivational calendar. It's the kind of deep talk that only hits if you're half asleep in a waiting room. Rogan didn't mock it with cruelty, just that signature look of disbelief he saves for people still trying to explain flat earth theories.
Interviews and there's no pushback. There's no like, excuse me, I didn't go to Iraq, right?
Exactly.
And I retired, as my unit was deploying. And so
we were retired a couple months before.
A couple months before,
right?
Yes,
what
but,
is the whole
but those
story
guys
behind
know
it?
they know that they're going, right? It's not like they suddenly get a paper, on one day. There's a build up to that, and they're aware of it. And so, even his personnel were saying, look, we all knew we were going. He knew he was going. Now, okay.
The funniest part? Walz struts around like he's the secret hero of American politics, even though half the country wouldn't recognize him in a lineup. Yet here he is, acting like he's auditioning to play president in a high school play. Joe couldn't look away from the absurdity, because once you peel back Walz's layers, there's no mastermind hiding underneath, just a guy trying to keep up with the pros while clutching a playbook drawn in crayon. Rogan's all about digging deeper. But with Walz, the surface was the only thing keeping the whole circus from collapsing. On the outside, he's got the polished politician smile. Underneath, Joe uncovered chaos barely held together with duct tape and confidence. Each story led to another ridiculous twist, like peeling an onion only to realize it's a spray-painted cabbage. One of Rogan's favorite parts? Watching Walz talk about leadership like he's hosting a TED Talk, while the results look more like a kindergarten art project. Messy, confusing, and proudly displayed as if it's a masterpiece.
He's 100% right with Tim Walz.
I know I'm doing something right when the Fox News crowd is all pitching at me like crazy. Like, I'm loving it.
That guy was almost the vice president of the United States.
Elon Musk was crying last week. Tim is being mean to me, yeah.
I'm sure you've seen that thing where it shows Obama saying, I need a vice president that's dumber than me.
He may or may not have cognitive decline problems at his age, but at her age, she's just dumb.
Biden and
I think
Biden
I was
saying,
saying that
I
on
need
your,
a vice
Imagine someone giving a passionate speech about innovation while holding a flip phone. That's Tim Walz in a nutshell. A walking paradox with Wi-Fi from 2003. He loves to pose like he's reshaping history, but Joe quickly exposed the truth. Half the time, the man's just reshaping his grocery list. What really sent Rogan laughing was how Walz acts as if Minnesota is leading a grand political revolution, when in reality, it's more like a testing ground for awkward dad jokes and painfully stiff town halls. Walz thinks he's running Rome, but Joe sees a lemonade stand with sketchy math. The people around him either play along or genuinely believe the act. Because honestly, who wouldn't watch someone stumble their way into power like it's a live game of political Twister? Rogan couldn't ignore Walz's unique talent for turning every serious moment into a sitcom gag. Give him a shot at looking presidential, and suddenly, it's a blooper reel in progress. Hand him a national issue and he'll send it back like a gift gone wrong. Ripped wrapping, missing bow, and zero instructions. Rogan joked that Minnesota politics doesn't even feel like government anymore. It's more like a reality show that got canceled after the pilot, yet somehow Walz keeps bouncing back after every misstep, like a cartoon character who refuses to admit defeat.
You seen this video?
I haven't. Please play it.
It's probably a real person. It might not be Tim Walz. Trump is AI generated.
No, he slaps his...
I mean, that is hilarious.
Oh, it's definitely him. This is all 100% real, Jamie. You're a plant by the
Jamie's
government.
compromised.
On top says it's AI generated.
Riley
so
Moore
hard.
fell for an AI-generated video of Minnesota government. I fell for it too. And do you know why I fell for it?
Yeah.
Because I believe that he's capable of doing so.
It's almost impressive, like watching someone slip on ice, yet somehow stay upright. You can't tell if it's skill or pure luck. Walz dodges accountability like Neo in The Matrix, only instead of bullets, it's bad decisions flying his way. This is where Rogan really had his fun, like dismantling the myth that Walz is some misunderstood mastermind. Not even close. Joe compared him to that overconfident substitute gym teacher, great at giving fiery pep talks about teamwork, but when it's time to run real plays, you're better off with middle schoolers holding a whiteboard. Walz likes to pretend he's playing chess, but Joe revealed it's actually Candyland, and somehow he's still losing. The deeper Rogan dug, the stranger it got. Walz has this habit of talking in circles, as if more words could magically turn nonsense into wisdom, but Joe saw right through the performance. Walz's speeches, they're the audio version of those classic motivational cat posters, you know, the ones with a kitten dangling from a branch under the words, "Hang in there." It sounds inspiring, until you realize it's just a cat that got stuck.
More time. I mean, they were talking about cracking down on hate speech online. Like that free speech is not hate speech. That Tim Walz guy was actually saying that.
I think we need to push back on this. There's no guarantee to free speech on misinformation or hate speech, and especially around our democracy.
Hate speech.
Here's the real twist. Somehow, Walz managed to convince people he's relatable. Rogan didn't let that slide. He called out how Walz's version of down to earth feels like it was crafted by a marketing intern running on caffeine fumes. It's not authenticity. It's improv comedy with a 2-drink minimum. Walz struts around trying to play the everyman, but Joe exposed the truth. He's more like an AI chatbot programmed to say, folks, every few sentences. And just when you think the awkwardness has peaked, Walz surprises everyone by topping himself again. Joe pointed out that Walz doesn't just stumble, he stumbles with enthusiasm, like it's all part of some master plan. He'll proudly unveil a major initiative, only for it to collapse faster than a discount lawn chair. The man collects political blunders like trophies, stacking them high as if history will one day celebrate his legendary missteps. Spoiler, it won't. But Joe didn't stop at the politics. He went after the vibe. Picture Walz walking into a room. The energy shifts instantly. Not out of respect, but because everyone's bracing for the unintentional comedy show he's about to perform. Rogan compared it to someone trying karaoke for the first time. Loud, confident, but painfully off-key. You want to look away, but you just can't.
Seen that? No. The video of him taking down the Minnesota flag and he replaced it with the new flag that looks a lot like the Somali flag. Minnesota has a huge population of Somalis in it.
All right, ready. Whoa, wait a minute.
So he gets the flag, picks it up, and replaces it.
There, that's better.
Why is that better?
Here's where the irony hits hardest. Walz genuinely thinks he's crushing it. That's the magic trick. While everyone else sees a blooper reel, he's proudly watching his own highlight reel. Rogan exposed that Walz's real talent might be his ability to live in an alternate universe where every mistake somehow counts as a win. It's delusion turned into a superpower. And unbelievably, it lasts just long enough for him to keep a straight face on camera. But Joe didn't stop there. He dove into Walz's obsession with chasing trends like a surfer who never learned to balance. Rogan couldn't stop laughing at how Walz believes that saying the right things is the same as doing them. If politics were karaoke, Walz would be that guy mumbling through lyrics he doesn't know, praying no one notices. And the funniest part? How he handles criticism. Rogan revealed that Walz treats every bad headline like a personal insult from the universe. Instead of learning, he doubles down with the confidence of someone who read the map upside down but insists the car's on the right road. Joe summed it up perfectly. Watching Walz handle adversity is like watching someone fix a leaking sink with duct tape. It's doomed, but you almost respect the effort.
American history.
Kamala saying, I need a vice president dumber than me. It's Walz. Men have tampons.
We have a lot of accomplishment. We haven't taken adequate credit for it, frankly. We got to do a better job of getting the word out about what we have accomplished and who did it.
You got to lose because we got to break this cycle. We're getting way too...
The timing couldn't be more perfect. Rogan's takedown of Tim Walz landed right when people were craving authenticity. And instead, Walz delivered the opposite. Forced charm wrapped in pure awkward energy. Joe's breakdown made it crystal clear. Walz isn't just out of touch, he's practically orbiting another planet. It's not sinister, it's hilarious. The man genuinely believes he's starring in a gripping political drama, when in truth, he's the comic relief everyone can't stop watching. By the end, Rogan painted an image you can't unsee. A politician who stumbled into fame by accident, convinced himself he was born for greatness, and has been improvising ever since. That's why people couldn't stop laughing. Joe didn't just expose Walz's politics. He unveiled the accidental comedy routine that is his entire career. From overblown speeches to cringeworthy timing, from dad joke policies to inflated confidence, Walz turned from governor to walking blooper reel. Minnesota asked for a leader, but somehow they got a sitcom character instead. And thanks to Joe Rogan, the world finally has front row seats to the show. The more people rewatched his breakdown, the clearer it became. This wasn't a one-off blunder. It was a full-blown pattern.
Complete pathological liar.
Let's be honest. There are outsiders coming into communities, stealing and moving jobs away, and making life harder for people living there. And they have names: Donald Trump and J.D. Vance.
Complete liar. Lied about being in Tiananmen Square. Lied about being a head coach of a football team.
Because this started, and I love this story, as a young prosecutor. Kamala Harris talked about going in that courtroom for the first time.
Pathological liars. People that are habitual liars. They just lie all the time about everything. Yeah. Oh, you didn't deploy for war. You didn't. Why are you saying you deployed at war? The weapons you used in war? No. You were in war.
I plan on waking up on November.
Walz isn't unlucky. He's consistent. Every move, every speech, every serious attempt at looking presidential somehow morphs into another blooper reel. It's almost impressive, like he's dedicating his entire career to proving that gravity hits Minnesota politicians harder than anyone else. You'd think he'd learn by now, but no, he just doubles down, proudly walking into the same glass door. Twice. It's like watching a magician with only one trick, and even that one fails half the time. Minnesota keeps offering polite applause, but deep down you can sense the thought. Maybe they deserve a headliner instead of the warm-up act, and that's the ultimate punchline. Walz genuinely believes he's nailing it. He struts across the stage, delivering Oscar-worthy speeches, completely unaware that the audience is watching a comedy show. Rogan didn't have to dig up any scandals or hidden dirt. All he had to do was hold up a mirror. What stared back wasn't corruption or cruelty, but something far more entertaining. Tim Walz, the unintentional comedian of politics, starring in a never-ending sitcom nobody asked for. Yet somehow, everyone can't stop watching.